Grammys, Ozzy Osbourne's family cries during Post Malone tribute. The 2026 Grammy Awards delivered one of the most emotional and unforgettable moments of the night, during a powerful musical tribute honoring the late Ozzy Osbourne. Nearly 7 months after his death in July 2025, the tribute was not only a celebration of a legendary career, but also a deeply personal experience for the family who continues to mourn him. As the music began, cameras turned to Ozzy's wife Sharon Osbourne and their children Kelly Osbourne and Jack Osbourne, seated together in the audience. The emotion was immediate and unmistakable. Sharon wore dark sunglasses, her face composed but clearly heavy with feeling. Kelly was seen crying from the opening notes, her expression a mix of pride, grief, and disbelief. As the performance continued, she raised her hands to her face, overwhelmed by the sound of her father's music filling the room once again. Jack, visibly shaken, later stood as tears rolled down his face, applauding and pointing toward the stage in a wordless gesture of appreciation. The tribute performance was led by Post Malone, joined by Andrew Watt, Chad Smith, Duff McKagan, and Slash. Together they performed War Pigs, the iconic 1970 track by Black Sabbath. The song choice was deliberate and deeply symbolic. War Pigs is not only one of Black Sabbath's most influential songs, but also a defining statement of Ozzy Osbourne's fearless voice and uncompromising artistry. Hearing it performed live in a tribute setting carried a weight that was impossible to ignore. As the heavy opening notes echoed through the venue, the contrast between the explosive energy on stage and the quiet grief in the audience created a moment of rare vulnerability for an awards show. This was not a polished montage or a distant remembrance. It was raw, live, and deeply personal. The Grammys in Memoriam segment has honored many legends over the years, but this tribute stood apart because of how closely it connected music history with real, visible loss. Throughout the performance, the camera continued to return to the Osbourne family. Sharon remained still, absorbing the moment in silence. Kelly's tears did not stop, and Jack's emotional response only deepened as the song progressed. When the performance ended, Jack stood applauding, pointing toward the performers as if to say thank you on behalf of his father. It was a brief gesture, but one that spoke volumes. Earlier in the evening, Kelly Osbourne spoke candidly on the red carpet about how her family continues to keep Ozzy's memory alive. Her words added even more depth to the moment that later unfolded on stage. Kelly explained that their grief is not something they leave behind when the cameras turn off. It is something they live with every day. She shared that the family keeps a symbolic seat for Ozzy at the table, a quiet reminder that he is still part of their lives. She lights a candle for him daily, turning remembrance into ritual. Kelly also revealed that she wears a locket containing her father's photograph, hidden beneath her dress. She described how her child opens the locket every day, kisses the picture, and says hello to Papa. These small, intimate details painted a picture of a family finding ways to stay connected to someone they lost too soon. Kelly even spoke about noticing the time at 11 and feeling that it is her father reaching out to her, a moment of comfort in the middle of grief. What made Kelly's comments resonate even more was her honesty. She did not soften her pain or hide behind polite answers. She openly admitted that she is not fine and that losing her father has been the hardest experience of her life. Her vulnerability made the Grammys tribute feel less like a television moment and more like a shared human experience. When the music played later that night, viewers understood exactly why the emotions were so intense. Ozzy Osbourne died at the age of 76 after suffering a heart attack, following years of health struggles related to Parkinson's disease. His passing marked the end of a chapter in music history. As the frontman of Black Sabbath, Ozzy helped create the foundation of heavy metal, shaping a genre that would influence countless artists across decades. His voice, stage presence, and rebellious spirit made him one of the most recognizable figures in rock. Yet Ozzy's legacy extended far beyond music. In the early 2000s, he became a global pop culture icon through the MTV reality series The Osbournes. The show introduced audiences to a very different side of the so-called Prince of Darkness. Viewers saw him not just as a rock legend, but as a father, a husband, and a deeply human figure navigating everyday life. That dual identity, rock icon and family man, was reflected powerfully during the Grammys tribute. As War Pigs reached its final notes and the applause filled the room, the emotional weight of the moment lingered. The camera once again found Sharon, Kelly, and Jack Osbourne united in their grief and pride. Their reaction reminded viewers that behind every legendary career is a family who feels the loss most deeply. The tribute made one thing unmistakably clear. Ozzy Osbourne's voice may no longer echo from a live stage, but his influence remains as strong as ever. His music continues to inspire artists across genres. His legacy continues to shape rock and heavy metal. And for his family, moments like this are both painful and meaningful, proof that the world still remembers the man they loved and honors the impact he left behind.